morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. This is your man Dre Mac coming to you again. What another episode of the Dre Mac Show. And today's show is going to be about the Flash. And we're going to do a live spoiler chat. So there's a warning sign. There's going to be spoilers ahead when I'm talking about this. I'm really going to dive into the movie, things I like, things I didn't like, things I wanted to say on the non-spoiler live chat that I did on Friday, but I wasn't able to because man, I was chomping at the bits, seeing to try to get with try to keep a lot of stuff in. But again, we're about to get into it. You already know what it is. The real question is, all right. All right. Hopefully everybody is happy, everybody is healthy. No, good again. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. I'm just waiting for people to file in. You already know what it is. If you're watching this on a replay, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, you appreciate everything that I'm putting in, the work that I'm putting in. I literally just got off of work last night. You appreciate the work I'm putting in. Just make sure you give a brother a thumbs up. That's all I'm asking for. There's a thumbs up in the chat. Make sure that you make sure you comment in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. You know what I'm saying? I am one of the type of people that will chat you back. So I have no problem if you ask me a question in the comment section. I will make sure to chat you back. Also, I am 100. Thank you for the 3 people who just added to who subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate you guys. I am 197 subscribers away from hitting the 2K mark. And again, Dre from the past, go ahead and tell them what they can win once I hit 2,000 subscribers. What's up? This your man Dre Mac. Want a chance to win a little bit of my money?
Got my money?
Well, all you got to do is like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. You know why? Because I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers.
Baby needs shoes. My wife needs clothes.
Once I hit 2,000 subscribers, if you like, share, and subscribe to this channel, you will actually have a chance to win a $100 gift card.
Message.
Again, like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. Once I hit 2,000 subscribers, I'm giving away $100. Want a chance to win? All you got to do is do that, and I'll see you on the other side. Hopefully, you're the winner. Absolutely, Dre from the past. I am giving away a $100 gift card to whoever's in the chat the day that I hit 2,000 subscribers. I'm gonna do a live chat. I want to give away $100, and I feel like giving away $100 to you guys because you guys that have been rocking with me, especially people that have been rocking with me for a long time. Even when I was doing other type of commentary, you know what I mean, other type of social commentary that you rock with me throughout my transition to movies and comic book movies and the stuff that I really, really like. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys, and that's just a way for me to show my appreciation. But before I get into the Flash, my Flash review, let me see. I want to look at the box office and see what the actual box office did over the weekend. Because that's actually a telltale in the story. I telltale of the actual of this movie is what did it bring in. So give me just a second here, and I'm going to pull up Variety and share my screen with you guys because again, like I said, there's elements of this movie that's really good. If you see my non-spoiler review, there's elements of this that I think is absolutely phenomenal. And then the tone gets broken by something to me. Give me just a second here. Change this up a little bit. All right, The Flash disappoints with 55 million debut. Pixar's Elemental flops with 29.5 million in the battle of box office lightweights. And um, not necessarily is The Flash, as far as a character, a lightweight. The problem is that nobody's invested right now in the DCEU because they already know this is going to be rebooted. Same thing that happened with Shazam. There's like, what is the use? You know what I mean? What is the use of coming and spending my money to watch this if it doesn't mean anything for the future? And I believe that is a bigger component. People think it all because of Ezra Miller and all the shenanigans and all the arrests he was doing and all the reverse flash he was doing. Yes, that was a component, but personally, I don't think that that was the main component because if the guy is making a good movie, then what do you care about what he does as far as like, outside of the work, you know what I'm saying, that he's putting in. So I didn't really care, honestly, I put my feelings to the side and said, I'm going to watch The Flash. I'm gonna put personal feelings aside about me wanting to be recast and all of that. They wasn't going to do it. Let me see, because this is his job. And my main thing as someone who reviews this movies is that I'm going to review you on the job that you do in the film, not what you do outside of the film. You know what I'm saying? Because that has nothing to do with me. What has to do with me is when I go pay a ticket for a movie stub, and then the movie is not as great, you know what I'm saying, or poor, as I expected. So that's what I'm basing this off of, and I was listening to Grace Randolph last night, and a lot of people don't like Grace. I love her insight as far as Hollywood. I do. I love her movie math. That's what I really tune in for. Her because she called a lot of stuff early. Early. She's now when there's leaks and there's casting and all of that, her tweets are gold. I don't care if y'all don't like her or not. Her tweets, pure gold. And she called a lot of this. Now, she personally liked The Flash. I personally think it's okay. It's not the greatest thing I ever saw, and it's not the worst thing I ever saw. But the box office, and this is what I was talking about, you Snyder fans. A lot of you, I'm talking about the toxic Snyder fans. A lot of you toxic Snyder fans did not go and support any of these movies, and Shazam and The Flash clearly didn't get the support he needed. I think Shazam was not good at all. I think Shazam sucked. The Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, that sucked. But with this, and it's crazy that Shazam had a post-credit scene with Hardcore, and I can't think of the other guy's name from the Suicide Squad and from Peacemaker. And in this one, the end credit scene to me was the silliest thing. I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? But I got a theory on that. So let me get to what the box office says. It says The Flash, a superhero adventure starring Ezra Miller, emerged victorious over Pixar's Elemental in the battle of box office lightweights. This weekend, two releases were once expected to unite the summer blockbuster season. Instead, both entirely missed the mark. The Flash stumbled with 55 million, and Elemental collected just 25.5 million in their respective debuts. Both films fell short of the already low expectation. Worse, they were pricey endeavors costing $200 million to make and roughly $100 million to market. So they are shaping up to be huge disappointments in their theatrical runs. In the lead up to The Flash, the executive at Warner Brothers worked hard to convince the public that the film is one of the greatest superhero movies ever made, per newly minted DC Studios co-chief James Gunn. Director Andy Muschietti. The story picks up as Miller's Barry Allen, aka The Flash, travels back in time to prevent his mother's murder and adversely cracks open the DC multiverse. So, I'm gonna just tell you, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop my screen because I don't need to say anything more after that. That's basically where the film picks up. But 55 million in a debut when I think Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantumania made way more than that. And honestly, you might not like the way that Jonathan Majors Kane went out, but Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantumania was a better movie, better structured movie than this. Did you get to know about people in the quantum realm and how did they get there or whatever? No, and who cares? It has nothing to do with them. We're just trying to figure out what's going on with Kane and who kicked him there and all of that. You know, what's up with this multiversal war and all of this? You know what I mean? Did he get sucked into a time vortex or what the hell happened at the end besides him getting attacked by ants because of MODOK, which a lot of people didn't like, but I thought he was just there to be a silly comic relief character, and people just need to kind of accept that. Is it great? Nope, not gonna say it's great. Some of the CGI was trash on his face, but I don't think they were trying to take him seriously anyway because he's not the real character. He's just donning the name of MODOK. But anyway, let me get off of that. So to get outpaced by Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, it should tell you that movie is not as bad as people think. And I know a lot of people love DC, and I like DC. But some of the movies is not that great. The Suicide Squad was a great movie. You know what I'm saying? Aquaman was a great movie. Batman v Super. I mean, I'm sorry. Um, Justice League Snyder Cut is it's long, but it's still amazing. And I would never take anything away from that movie. From when he took it back over, when he started doing what he wanted to do, to me, that's when the movie is at its apex. With that said, let's get into the spoiler warning ahead. Let's get into this movie. Now, I'm going to tell you the opening scene starts off with a action scene where, well, first of all, it starts off where Flash is running late and he's trying to get a sandwich, and the guy at the sandwich shop is not the regular person, and the guy is taking the I'm talking about, he's like that sloth from what's that animal movie? Zootopia. He's like that. You know what I'm saying? On the phone talking, just doing stuff all slow. And Flash is like, I gotta go because I keep getting a phone call from Alfred. So he bounces foul, goes over to Gotham, because he tells her, hey, go over to the Gotham General Hospital. We're having a problem over there. And Batman is chasing the bad guys, you know what I'm saying, from the Falcones or whatever. And that's kind of how we kicked off the movie. Now, I didn't have a problem with the Batman stuff. I still don't know how Batman keeps his shoulders because, good God Almighty, the man's getting torn up on the ground. He's holding on to, to the what you call that, the grappling hook, and I don't see how that man got shoulders, but it's Batman. He's plot armor. You know what I'm saying? He's protected well by plot armor. So Barry has to save people at the hospital. This is immediately what threw me off of the movie from the jump, is that he's catching babies in the air. Babies. And he's moving at the speed of sound or faster than the speed of light or whatever, and he's trying to maneuver these babies. Took a baby and put him in the microwave, and the CGI on the babies goes from adorable to horrific in like a blink of an eye. And that is what took me, a lot of it, what took me out of the movie was the CGI. Not good. There's some stuff in here just like, oh my God. It's terrible. It's terrible. Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. I apologize. I had a long night, and I'm not about to be long with you guys on this one because I worked last night. So I had a long night. So I'm not going to be with you guys that long. So that happens. And I had a problem with this scene because, for one, it's weird in their babies. They're babies. For one, who puts a NICU or any of that next to a window? Like, babies next to a window is already bad. And you got a dog in there, and the dog is flying down. He's trying to chomp on a burrito, and in the midst of this, Flash is low on calories, and he has to eat. So it's weird. You got flying babies, dude is munching. It's just weird. I'm not even gonna lie. This was so weird. Like, I understand if it was a bunch of grown people, but babies and weird CGI babies at that. Of course he has to save the nurse, so the nurse is there. Nah, it's just yeah. I didn't like it. I did not like his part of it. You know what I'm saying? I did not like it. I just thought it was weird. Now, Batman stuff was awesome, and eventually Barry catches up with Batman. Wonder Woman makes a cameo, and she saves Batman and the guy, because Batman was getting ready to fall. I mean, getting ready to drop him, which was a good scene. Now the only problem is that Diana was just there to clean up the mess and then bounce. She was not significant. You know what I'm saying? To the plot, she wasn't on the comlink. Like, hey, I'm battling something, I would be there. Hell, they could have used Henry Cavill, because they showed a clip of a guy that looks like Superman, trying to stop a volcano from erupting. Oh my god. And I think that hurt the movie. And I said this in my non-spoiler. What would have made this movie a lot better, in my honest opinion, is that if you take the characters that we had in the Justice League, be damn the problem. Find a way to get these guys in there to shoot, even if they're not even in the same room together. Find a way for these guys to shoot and get the Justice League in there. You see what I mean? So it's not just, it's not, I didn't have a problem with him confiding into Batman, slash Bruce Wayne into what was going on in his life and how he could travel the multiverse and stuff like that. But it would have been nice to see the band back together. And we've seen this in the Justice League. And I know Henry Cavill got his problems. I mean, you showed up in the Black Adam post-credit scene that didn't go anywhere, but couldn't show up. I don't understand. In this Flash movie, I don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers. That sucked. Cyborg, what you got on with the brother who plays Cyborg. I don't care what he went through. Just get him in the freaking movie, just to make the movie a lot better. It's not good. What if you're trying to get me emotionally invested in these scenes and why it would be so detrimental for him to go in time, because if he goes back in time and he changes the future, who's the new Superman? Is there Supergirl? Is it this and it's that? And without having those core people there to further the plot along, even if it's just, like I said, if it's just a cameo like Wonder Woman, but everybody shows up, in a pie, man, I'm sorry, I'm late. Even if there wasn't even the same role, it would have been awesome. But that's where I feel like, one, the ball was dropped. You kind of get to that, and Barry is talking about how he went into the past. And technically he did go into the past in Justice League, especially in the Snyder Cut. And I do like the fact that they took elements of what they did in Justice League. Justice League Snyder Cut, and incorporated that into this movie. And the way that him running back in time, because basically he gets a phone call from his dad, and it's heartbreaking. He's just trying to save his parents. One dad goes to jail, one his mom is dead, and we don't know who killed him, but we know that his dad is innocent. He's trying to prove his innocence. So he's trying to save both his families. So he's taking a lot of things to heart. He didn't, Iris West was telling him, you went to go visit him and everything, and he got upset, and I'm not really mad at it. That part I'm not mad at, that he was upset and he went back into time. And it was a weird way for them to show time travel in here, but when I rewatched it, it was kind of unique, because it's almost like when we visualize people, it's kind of fuzzy. Like if we're talking to somebody we haven't, or we're thinking about somebody we haven't seen in a long time, we only have our image of that, and maybe our image is not all that great. Maybe it's a little fuzzy or a little hazy, and it takes like a picture to kickstart it or whatever. but the way that it was shown in like in a CGI kind of way, I did not have a problem with that because I just think about like, I ran into a old friend from like, good lord, it's 18 years ago. In remembering this old friend, I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? It's like trying to remember certain things. It's a little fuzzy and it's a little hazy, and probably in my mind, it will probably just be a of what I think, what I perceive is, this person or whatever, and he or she are indifferent. You know what I mean? And I like the way that they kind of perceive that in like a 3D, 3D. CGI type of thing. I did have a problem with that, and with him running in this ball, it's like, because the sand is like he's running in sand. So I did like that. Some of the CGI on the costume. You know what I'm saying? They should have just they should have kept the costume um practical and did just lightning bolts and stuff like that around it. They made it almost not as bad as Green Lantern suit, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It's certain scenes. If you really paying attention to the movie, it started throwing me off. You know what I'm saying? Because the CG started being wonky. You know what I'm saying? It started being a little wonky, and I think that suffered the movie also because you have strong emotional beats. Him, talking to his dad, and he's in front of his childhood house. He takes off running and he's crying. That was awesome. That was awesome. You know what I mean? Him going into I believe it's like the hyperball or whatever. I can't think of the name of it offhand, but that was awesome. The CGI for him to encounter himself and basically in a Freaky Friday type of way, that was amazing. I don't know if the rest of the budget is to make sure that both Barrys in a lane, because he goes back and he sees an alternate version of him because he went to an alternate timeline. He saved his mom from getting killed by putting a can of tomatoes in there because that's what she was, his dad went back to the store to go get. So, the CG got for that was amazing. Oh my God, was it good? You know what I'm saying? And, this is the guy who grew up with his favorite show in the whole wide world, Knight Rider, and seeing Michael Knight and Garth Knight. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I have a program on my phone. If I shoot it just right, I could be able to I can sit with myself. But that was amazing the way that they cut that. I loved every minute of that. That was awesome. That was awesome. And then I'm not gonna lie, younger Barry, which I kind of like when they do this and they did this with Across the Spider-Verse with Prowler Miles, and then you have Spider-Man Miles. I'm going to do a video on that, which I don't think in an alternate timeline that would be so starkly different. I believe elements, maybe I'm just thinking about me and my brother talk about, all this stuff and multidimensional stuff and all of this. And I'm thinking to myself like this. I don't think if I had an alternate version of myself, I don't think we'll be all that much different as far as personality. I think our circumstances will be a lot different. And sometimes your circumstances do play a role in it, but I don't think we will be so far distant that it's unrecognizable. And this Barry is so fucking annoying. He got on my nerves. His laugh got on my nerves. His quirkiness is just like an annoying high dude. You know what I'm saying? A dude who smokes weed all day and just annoying as hell. That's what it remind me of, dude. He was annoying at times. Like they do this gag where he gets powers, and then our Barry, regular Barry, loses his powers. And they do this gag where he goes speeding Gonzalez, and I guess it shows a way. Which this is what I'm talking about when the beat just goes on too long. His clothes catches on fire because friction causes heat. Heat could cause a fire, and his clothes catches on fire. And then all of this ensues where all of this stuff falls down. He causes all these major accidents, and it's just a gag that he's naked. That's all it was. And then he phases through the floor because it's like, it was, instead of going to go, like, man, kind of feeling remorseful for that. He's so excited. Oh, let me phase through let me try to phase. He phased through the floor, butt naked again. He comes back with a pan around his crotch. I thought that was stupid. I'm sorry. I thought that was unnecessary. They could have they could have had him catch on fire or whatever. And then Barry was like, yo, you can't run at those type of speeds, dude. It can catch you on fire. You know what I'm saying? And then half his clothes was burnt and why and explain to him why he keeps the ring and the gear in this ring and that was properly explained. But other than that, to try to run this gag into the dirt that he's naked, I don't care. I don't care. And then, there's a gag where both Barrys are talking with, he's a freshman in college. Don't nobody recognize that this dude or these dudes look just alike, like twins. And instead of being like, oh my God, Barry, I didn't know you had a twin brother. That's also, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, no, and they kind of go into that. They act oblivious. And I kind of hate when we watch movies and they're oblivious to the obvious. Like, that's obvious. And, no matter how high you are, no matter what, you're not oblivious. Especially if you overanalyze. I don't know anything about being, on the wacky tobacco, but all I know is you overanalyze everything. You overthink stuff. You know what I'm saying? You start breaking down quantum physics because you're high. You know what I mean? Or you just don't go to work because you got high. You know what I'm saying? Or not pay your child support because you got high. Okay, I'm going to run that gag into the ground. But it was like, there was gags like that could have been trimmed. It could have been cut. Some of it could have been cut or could have been reshot to a way where you still make the maximum impact with a minimum amount of screen time for this Barry getting on our fucking nerves. You know what I mean? And then they go and find Batman. Now, Michael Keaton's Batman, from what I understand, is not the Batman from the 89 universe. Why? Because he wasn't going to go say Supergirl or Superman. He was like, all right, then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Again, Batman 89 is not doing that. For one, he's not doing that. Number two, he had long hair and stuff. Batman is not just walking around with just a long hair, big beard, looking like the wizard from Shazam. He's not doing. I don't see Bruce Wayne doing that. You know what I mean? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Sorry. I am so sorry. And I'm going to wrap this up here in a minute. But I don't see that Bruce Wayne do it. But again, once he does Batman stuff is awesome. The second Barry didn't even know that they were meeting Bruce Wayne and Bruce Wayne was Batman because it was making him so dumb and oblivious that he got on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? And I can see the stark contrast, and it plays it off later in the movie when it's revealed that he's Dark Flash. But it was just his antics and all of that, you know what I mean? They kind of kept getting on my nerves, you know what I'm saying? Until you start seeing the battle of General Zod coming in, and they free Supergirl and all of that was now Kara as dope. That was awesome. And again, there was a story for her to be told that I wanted more of her story. And again, I do like the fact that they focus on Barry Allen's Flash throughout the whole movie. He was the main character. He wasn't sidetracked by Batman or Supergirl. He was the main character. So that was awesome. But when Kara came in and she was, you know what I'm saying, destroying the Russians, that was amazing. That was awesome. You know what I mean? And when she battled Zod, that was awesome. Now, again, some of the CGI was a little weird in that because, she's doing some battling. The way the guys go flying off, it literally looked like it was made with the boys' budget and not a $200 movie. Like, literally. You know what I mean? But again, that was awesome. And this is where we start revealing that, the Barry from the future, because they kept trying to they kept stabbing him with these weapons, these Kryptonian weapons, because first he got sliced in the face. You know what I'm saying? And they lingered on it, long enough so it could get, come back in the end. And once he started getting these Kryptonian weapons stuck in his body, I was like, okay, because there's a scene where when Barry was running, when he did what he did, and he ran back and was going to go back to his present, he got knocked out by the Dark Flash or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And set on the course to meet his younger self, which was Barry. You know what I mean? The only thing that sucked about the Battle of Zod was Kara died, and she died multiple times because they kept younger Barry just kept going to the past to trying to fix it. And every time he go in the past, more and more weapons stick to his body and his arm. Like, that'll hurt. I'm like, I'm not a big Flash guy. I don't have not one Flash comic. But can objects stick in this man's arm and he'll be just fine? You know what I'm saying? Won't even phase him because it's healing factor or whatever. Flash fans, please tell me in the comment section because I was confused about that. But he kept going back in the past, and they kept, Batman kept dying. You know what I mean? Kara died multiple times because she, unlike Clark or Kal-El, she is the one with the codex to be able to, reproduce the race and be able to save the race on Earth. You know what I'm saying? So they can basically be gods. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to get to that just in a second, Dirt. But what's going on? Overall, as a story, I'm gonna get to that in just a second. But they kept replaying it, and then our Flash, because she helped him get his powers back. He kind of tossed to Batman. Was like, if Batman was like, hey, this is the way it's supposed to go out, I went out with a bang. I love this because he didn't have to. He was a Batman where Gotham was safe. And I've read plenty of Batmans. Gotham is never safe. No matter what you do, Gotham is never safe. You know what I mean? So there's always a need for a Batman. Whether it's Terry McGinnis, is Nightwing, where's Dick, or Damian or Drake. You know what I mean? Any one of those guys. I think I'm missing one. Missing a Robin, but still, no, Tim Drake, Dick Grayson. I just said his name. Can't think of his name. Anyway, because I'm getting tired. I mean, I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. But I do wish I wish they bring the young lady who played Kara. They need to bring her to the DCU. I love her. I think she played an excellent pissed off version of Supergirl because she didn't save Kal-El. That's what I wanted to get to. Damian Wayne. Okay. But that's what I wanted to get to is that Zod killed the baby, Kal-El, which Supergirl was supposed to protect, and she snapped on him and started beating his ass. I love that. Oh, that was awesome. And there was beats from, Kal-El fighting Zod, that was from Batman. From Man of Steel, which was a good callback. You know what I mean to that. But I thought that was awesome. And even with them dying, I kind of felt a certain way because I was like, I wanted more. I just wanted more. That's all it was. I was getting greedy, and I was like, man, I wanted more. But again, this is Barry's story. And to me, this one, the story start really getting good as far as story. Start really getting good because he travels back in the past and finds out that it's an evil version of him, the Barry from this alternate timeline, does it so many times and gets so many of these shrapnels and stuff, this Kryptonian armor on him. He becomes Dark Flash. You know what I mean? And I love the way that this was filmed. I love the way this was filmed because only thing that I wish that this they would have had an all-out slobber knocker trying to stop Dark Flash. I thought that would have been awesome. They didn't do that. And that's the only part that let me down. But the emotional beats, I loved it. I loved it because there's a point where Barry had to understand no matter what. And Miguel O'Hara said this in Across the Spider-Verse, there are absolute points. And basically, that's what Bruce was trying to tell him. Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne was trying to tell him from the very beginning. There is absolute points that is needed, and it tells a particular story. It helps you who you are, and you can't change that no matter what it is. And I love that they did that callback. You know what I'm saying? But I wish there was a fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was really trying to stop him, and that's what went down. And I didn't really get that, but I love the story. Towards the end, the multiverse are collapsing. We see I think it's George Reeves Superman, the first Superman. And this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. I do love the fact that they paid homage to all of the stuff that made DC. I grew up in watching the syndicate of the old Batman TV show. So they show Adam West and RP Adam West, you know what I'm saying, version of the of Batman. And I remember growing up watching that because a lot of those old shows was on syndication when I was growing up. So I do love that. I love the fact they show George Reeves. And they show and again, this was CGI. And they show Christopher Reeves, Superman, and the young lady who played Supergirl, because they were supposed to be in the movie and they never got to be in the movie, which kind of sucked in the Supergirl movie. But they showed them, and the only thing that threw it off was the uncanny valley that was on Christopher Reeve's face. And I wish they would have, and that's the only thing that I wish to that they would have did was kind of did the archive footage instead of CGI. But I get why they did that, because the biggest thing, because I was like, oh my god, no way, when Nicolas Cage's version of Superman popped up. Now that was awesome, because that is a deep cut for Superman Lives, and how he was going to be Superman. And fighting the gigantic spider was in the early draft of that movie that never got materialized. And that was awesome. And with Barry saving, jumping in front of everything, and he saved the multiverse because he saved himself. I absolutely love that part, because first of all, you kill that annoying version of him, but he got better once he got pissed off. You know what I'm saying? And tried to fix everything. But again, I like the end more than I like the beginning. In some of the middle parts, and it was just because that version of Barry was so annoying. He got annoying after a while, because it was just being a dumbass. You know what I'm saying? For no apparent reason whatsoever. So again, the problems that I had, some of the CGI, again, the opening act with the babies and some of the CGI with the babies was terrible. I'm sorry, that was terrible. Because you go from one baby being cute to one baby looking horrific. You know what I'm saying? That was bad. The band need to be together. Again, the band need to be. What I mean is, everybody from Justice League should have been in this movie. You know what I'm saying? And they should have been in the movie to help out Batman and all of that. Just small cameos. Pay what you gotta pay to get these guys on screen, and let them go. And then that way, when you reverse this universe, you know what I'm saying? You reset this universe, or you restart it in some other different universes. You know what I'm saying? Like Aquaman, man, dude, I stayed it to the end to see Aquaman, drunk Aquaman, fall into a puddle. Man, that was dumb, dude. That was so dumb to me, because I'm like, okay, all right, and then get to the cameos. which I'm gonna get to some of you guys' comment. But you know, George Clooney being the Batman of this universe, in this Pocket universe. Okay, what universe are we? Are we in literally Bat Nipple George Clooney universe now? And this is the reason why, you know, that Aquaman was drunk and being goofy. You know what I'm saying? What the hell is this? Because I want to know what are we doing? It needs to be explained. It wasn't totally explained. You know, all we got was Ezra Miller dropping the F-bomb. Was like, when he see George Clooney's Batman, was like, what the fuck is this? You're not Batman. And he looked at him like, Barry, really? Like, you've been knowing him all the time. What universe is this? What Earth is this? Visual storytelling. They could have literally put Earth 2, Earth 5, Earth 95, whatever. So we can really understand what Pocket universe is this right now. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And it made me like at the end of it, it put a sour taste in my mouth. I was like, I say it all the way for this. Terrible. So let me get to some of the comments. Overall, as a story, there's certain parts of the story that's really, really good, but is overshadowed by, you know, younger Barry's stupidity. And that took me away from the movie. Big time. And that suffered the story. You know, I'm thinking we're getting a Batman from 89, and then the Batman is not the Batman. So when he didn't want to save Superman before he knew it was Kara, that rubbed me the wrong. I'm like, what? Batman will save anybody, but no. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But Batman doing some Batman things was awesome. But overall, the story, there is good story in here. It to me got overshadowed by stupidity. So, you know, 2.5 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? Is okay. You know, I'm technically gonna rewatch it today. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's it like I said in my non-spoiler, if they trim some of the things in the movie that they could have trimmed out, because all this overhype, this is the best comic book movie I've ever seen. This is the best thing that came out of DC. The DC. No, it's not. Zack Snyder's version of Justice League is way superior than that. And there's a tone that's in there, and the tone is not there. This tone goes from really compelling, like the scenes with Barry and his mom is so compelling, to wacky Speedy Gonzalez wacky. Man, dude, miss me with that. And again, I compare it to Thor Love and Thunder, because there's compelling stuff in Thor Love and Thunder. Man, overshadowed by dumb shit. And as a moviegoer and as a person who loves movies and loves story, you can't take me out of the story by just having, you know, a character just do dumb shit. It's annoying, and it takes you away from the main focus. And again, at the end of the movie, where Barry is playing like, you know, he's just some stranger in the grocery store, and he basically says goodbye to his mom for the final time. That was amazing, because I heard one person say, well, man, a lady wouldn't say that, you know, line for line, because it's underlying tones in this. I've seen women, I've had it happen to me, where, you know, I was someplace and an older woman just started talking to me and spoke life into me so much and hugged me that you can't help but shed a tear. But it was his mom, and the way that they did that, I love that part. And it got to the end, and it ended on a gag that they pulled out. And it wasn't a bad gag, but, you know, Barry's tooth falling out. It wasn't a bad gag, and it wasn't a gag that they overused. But I mean, he put super glue on his tooth and stuck it in there. That ain't how that works. But anyway, let me go ahead and forget the CGI, man. I'm sorry. If you're doing visual storytelling, CGI plays a role in that. Nah, I'm good unless her hair is changed to being blonde. Long as she acts bubbly, I'm good. I don't know if you've read some of the super Okay, so I had the Who Laughs series, the Supergirl from when she ended up being Supergirl Who Laughs. The Supergirl before she became that was not joking with nobody bubbly my ass. She came there to kick ass and take names. You know what I'm saying? And what he said, I came here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum. And that's exactly what she was in that storyline. That story was awesome. So I mean, I get what you're saying, but I would like to see this story or a version of this story because I thought it was awesome. Um, Peyton is my choice. Okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? Might not even get one in the DCU, but we'll see what James Gunn does. Blonde hair and bubbly or nothing. Hey, that's your opinion. Hey, you know that version is a WB version going on with the trade. I don't agree with that, but hey, that's your opinion. Stick to the source material, and I will agree they could have did the Flashpoint just like the cartoon. Like Flashpoint, the cartoon, dope. And to me, this seems like it was a Flash movie, and then because they knew that hey, we're getting a new regime, let's do these reshoots to try to reset this universe, and you could tell that the story in the CGI suffers from that. To me, could have just copied the whole Flashpoint comic with Jason and Gal fighting each other. Jeffrey Dean Morgan this time. It would have been awesome. I agree with you. I completely agree with you, MJ. No Henry Cavill, and unfortunately, no, and it sucked. Yeah, nobody cares about Henry Cavill. I mean, I do because he showed up in Black Adam, but didn't show up in this movie. And I don't be damn. Money talks, bullshit walks. You can say what you want to, but scheduling conflicts have nothing to do when you getting paid. You gonna show up on this, even if you on set by yourself, because they all showed up for reshoots for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So don't tell me what they can't do during the pandemic. He's very. I mean, Dre, the CGI doesn't matter. Look at Phase 4, Phase 5. Yes, it does. It does matter. Thor Love and Thunder suffered because some of the CGI was horrific. Horrific. Not only are you taken away from the story by changing tones in the story, and you got Thor being goofy Thor. You know what I'm saying? Thor Ragnarok, he was kind of in the middle or whatever. You know what I mean? But they meant wacky Thor. You know what I mean? And it took away from the movie. I liked elements of Thor Love and Thunder. When you start talking about cancer, and I lost a really good friend of mine, R.I.P. Marini Brown. That was a really good friend of mine that I've been knowing ever since I was 17 years old to cancer. So that storyline, the Jane Foster, Mighty Thor story, that every time she used the hammer, it was killing her because it was taking away the radiation that was fighting the kid. Man, there's an amazing story in there. To take that story and put wackiness to it, man, it rubbed me the wrong. That's why I love Thor Ragnarok. I love that Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite MCU movies of all time. But Thor Love and Thunder took me so far away from that and the whack CGI. And let's not forget, Gore the God Butcher could have looked like Gore the God Butcher and went and going God Butcher, and we could have seen that, but it wasn't. That takes away from the story. You're taking the Mighty Thor storyline and the Gore the God Butcher storyline, and you're throwing it out the window for wacky shenanigans. And just like how they took Flashpoint, totally took away from an amazing story. Flashpoint is amazing. Amazing. You could have been telling that story, but not wacky shenanigans. Whatever. You know what I mean? And again, when you're talking about the story matters, visual storytelling is part of cinema. You don't just have this story without the visuals with that story. And if you have a good story but bad visuals, it's gonna be bad. There's certain bad visuals in a lot of movies. You know what I mean? But how much do they show the bad that takes away from the story is the question that you have to ask yourself, and there's a lot in there. Honestly, I don't know what universe that we in because the Gotham is different. I disagree with you on that. William Keaton is not a good guy. I disagree with you on that. The first act, bad CG. Yes, Kita, that is the worst babies I've ever seen in my. I thought the dancing babies that they show on like TikTok videos and stuff like that was bad. That was the worst thing I've ever saw in my life. There was some creepy ass babies. Doesn't matter about that. I disagree with you. I disagree. If that's the case, then you can't make a if without CGI, you can't make a Flash movie a Flash movie. So yes, the CGI does matter in everything. But okay. All right, 2024 Green Lantern series is what I care about right now. Will hopefully build up to the Blackest Night storyline, and we'll see what James Gunn has in store for the for this cinematic universe. Hopefully it's something that we could course correct and it could be awesome. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Yeah, but most of the audience, nobody complained about so CGI. It doesn't matter at all. I just think people hate it because it's I'm not hating it because it's DC. I'm not hating it at all. It's just poor CGI. Just like there was poor CGI in Thor Ragnarok. You know what I'm saying? And it's in again, when you had a movie like The Eternals with a character like the Flash do it better, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? They didn't take their time. If you listen to a lot of the critics will tell you it ain't got nothing to do with DC. It has nothing to do with DC. What am I playing? What am I playing in the background? A DC movie. It has nothing to do with DC. Has nothing. I want to see DC win. Like I said, I want the Monday Night Wars, DC versus Marvel. Who's going to come out on top? I want that. At the same time, as a as a person who loves movies and watches, I watch a lot of Chinese CGI and that was way worse than this. You know what I'm saying? Is way worse than this. And I will give you an example. Watch Journey to the West. Watch the Chinese Mandarin version of Journey to the West. Journey to the West is an amazing story. This is where you get Dragon Ball and all of that. It's still from Journey to the West. You get to some of the CGI, you be like, what? But the story is good. But you get to the CGI and it throws you off. And those are elements in storytelling. You have the dialogue that goes on, the acting, which, again, Ezra Miller did an amazing job. For one, being the biggest fucking villain that I've ever encountered because he got on my damn nerves. You know what I'm saying? And for two, being a compelling hero also that had to let go. I dig that. I don't care what he did outside of the movie. That was excellent. The woman who played his mother, excellent. There is excellence in this. Don't take that away. Don't take because I didn't like the CGI in certain parts of the movie. Don't take away that there's elements of a good, very good movie in there. Don't take that away. Right the Rock sucked because of if that's what you think, okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's your opinion. I loved it. I like the idea of Supergirl. What's up, William Moloch? I like the idea of Supergirl until I found that she was going to be able to throw hands with Zod. I thought she was going to be like Clark in Flashpoint, where she's going to be confused and vulnerable. Okay, so, and I wish my brother was on because he's now besides Spider-Man and Superman, especially Kara, he's a big fan. Kara actually, and especially in the one of the few stories that I got in because I'm a big Batman Who Laughs fan, and it was told that Supergirl is actually stronger than Clark. I'm talking about physically stronger and way more aggressive than Clark. Again, that's in the story that I was reading, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I do think she was vulnerable because she couldn't save baby Clark, and that was her whole mission, to protect her cousin, and she didn't do it. That's why she snapped off. And again, when emotions is high, logic is low. So she wasn't strategizing, she was just whooping ass. and he got the best of her because he's a military strategist. You know what I mean? So I would say she was more vulnerable in that aspect. You know what I mean? In a other deeper level than just showing her vulnerable and confused in a Mary Sue. No, they showed her pissed off, and that emotion caused her downfall. That's vulnerability also. The audience wouldn't be able to handle the full adaptation. I would. I don't believe. I guess I think they would. Them joking with Jane would have been okay if it was just to take her mind off of the cancer, but they just joked about everything. Yeah, it was. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. That pissed me off. You're my. I'm not being biased, Derby. I'm not being biased. Yes, I'm a tremendous Marvel fan, but I'm a movie dude. You have to understand this, Derby. Derpy. I was an actor, so everything when I watch movies, I go off for story, plot, and visual storytelling. This is what I go off of. How does the story and the plot work? What does the editing look like? Is it seamless? Transformers, I'll give you an example. Love a lot of things in Transformers. There's certain things that I didn't like in Transformers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a way more of a Transformer fan than I am a Marvel fan. Way more. I can watch Transformers right now. You know what I mean? So it has nothing to do with the properties. It has nothing to do with that. So you saying that, you're taking way, you're overthinking me, buddy. And I'm telling you from the horse's mouth, has nothing to do with the properties. I don't give a fuck what property it is. If you tell the truth, when I'm watching the movie, there's elements that I look for. You know what I mean? Does the plot flow? Or does the story flow? How does the plot and the characters interact with this said plot? The plot of this movie was Barry going back in time because he wanted to save his mother and his family, and shenanigans ensue. In the middle of that, how does he get from A to B and it equals to C? You see what I mean? And when you have this story go from A in this tone to B, a certain tone that doesn't flow because Barry's being serious, one Barry's being a goddamn cartoon character. You know what I mean? It doesn't mix. It doesn't flow right. You see what I mean? And as a former actor, when I'm looking at this and I'm trying to get what is the tone of this? If the tone is offsetting and off-putting, then it has nothing to do with the property. And that's what I'm saying. That's the problem of the movie. So don't say because, oh, you're just a Marvel fan. Don't do that. Don't do that because it has nothing to do with that. I'm coming in a whole different level, buddy. I'm coming in a whole different level. And again, this is your opinion, and I respect your opinion. But no, that ain't it, dog. And I'm telling you from the horse's mouth what it is. Oh, come on. Trying to get to you guys' comments. All right, Christopher, what's going on? She's more aggressive but not stronger. And I mean, but then you have writers, and again, this is just based on the writers. You know what I'm saying? Stan Lee said this: if I want to make the Hulk beat the Thing up, I could just write that. Or if I want the Thing to beat up the Hulk, I could just write that. It's the writers, and sometimes they write Superman and a lot of people in Marvel so OP that it doesn't come off. And that's one of the reasons that I don't read a lot. I would tell you this: when it comes to DC, I read Batman. You know what I'm saying? A lot more Batman than I do like Superman because it gets to the point where the power set is so OP that I can't really get to the character. You know what I'm saying? The character side of it. One reason why I read a lot of Marvel is because the character side to it. I'm a Deadpool fan. This is one of the most complex characters of all of comics because you don't know what the hell this dude is going to be thinking the next moment. You know what I'm saying? But depending on the writer, they can write him compelling. You know what I'm saying? So and that's all it boils down to. I get that, but the idea of her being stronger, my problem was my own assumption for what I've already seen from the flat, and I get that. I understand that. And Keita said facts. Yeah. So okay. So again, I like certain elements of the movie. but there's other things that I just wish was a lot better. That's it. That's all it is. You know what I mean? And again, it's on the level of Thor Ragnarok. Uh and it's just like in I will give you an example of this. Yes, I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp, but did I like MODOK sticking his head in that bubble to distract Kane the Conqueror for the ants to chew up his gear? Not really. I mean, it's the OG Ant-Man sent the hit, and it's OG Ant-Man, but this is Kane. Kane the Conqueror. I mean, they got to get to, point B, which you don't know what happens to him. It's ambiguous. If you don't see a body, then we don't know. And I understand that part, but yeah, there was certain element. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of felt people on that one. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't as mad as everybody, but I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he wasn't at full strength. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He was just bragging, you know what I'm saying? But his tech got chewed, and that was the end of that. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right, I agree about the writers, but what I'm saying is that Clark had the civility instilled in him by the Kents at an early age. Fuzzy Kara did not say, yeah, and I like that they brought that element into this movie where she came as a protector. They intercepted her. The Russians did put her, with the red energy. You know what I'm saying? So she couldn't be depowered, and you know what I mean, or she's depowered. You know what I'm saying? So when she finally got her revenge, she snapped. I love that. That's just me though. That's just me because again, I wish they would have put some of that same energy into the end of the movie, so Dark Flash and regular Flash could have fought for a little bit before Barry saved himself. If we would have got him, 5 minutes of action, or I would say I heard this too from another critic. If they would have had some of the CGI, Christopher Reeves, George Reeves, and Anna West Batman, Christopher Reeves, Superman, Supergirl, you know what I'm saying? What's Superman, Nicolas Cage, they kind of like they were gonna move to like they all banded together because they seen their universes collapse and they all kind of banded together to try to go and stop this threat. You know what I'm saying? That would have been awesome. It does remind me of Injustice the way the worlds were though. But all I wanted was just a little bit of fighting at the end, like really, like make it personal. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna stop me. You know what I'm saying? You want to see mom die, and then the other Barry finally realizes, like he clicks, like I can't allow this to keep going on. You know what I'm saying? And then he sacrifices himself. Man, I wanted some more some more fast punching or something. You know what I mean? The Spot was a better version of what they tried to do with Kane. We saw him as a weakling, and he developed into a multiversal threat in a believable way without him losing in the end in a goofy way. And I do agree with you, William. I do agree. Again, this goes to writing. Lord and Miller have made some bangers lately, and I think it's what's his name? I can't think of the guy who wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp. I can't think of the director offhand. I can't think of the director, but he dropped the ball on it. He dropped the ball on that end. They should have made Kane win. You know what I'm saying? And sacrifice one of the Ant-Man. I don't care if it's Hank Pym. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he old anyway. It's Michael Douglas. He old. He don't need to come back. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, you know what I mean? Sacrifice somebody. Somebody got to go. You know what I'm saying? Or something. It could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better towards the end. You know what I'm saying? And if they would have, I'm telling you, everybody's assumption would have been different, and somebody would have died, and it wasn't ambiguous to Kane. If somebody would have died and he won, and he went into the multiverse, you're talking Dark Vader level. You know what I'm saying now? Because the setup with him, with Cassie and all of that, his threats would have been suffice if he would have got it. He would have got out and would have killed somebody in the process of him getting out instead of them winning. My thoughts. But did they do that? No. And I'm praying everything happens you know, with Jonathan Majors, everything comes out, you know what I mean, in his favor. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't, I mean, that sucks. You know what I mean? But yeah. All right, I'm about to if you guys got any other questions, go ahead and put it in the comment section for me. I'm gonna take a couple of you guys. There's a couple more questions or thoughts or anything.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Yeah, I was supposed to wrap it up a little bit longer ago, but anyway. All right, if you guys, I'm gonna just wait a little bit. If you guys have any questions or comments on this, and don't forget to give this video. If you're watching it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. This is all I ask for. It is a good thumbs up. All right, I'm gonna give you guys about 30 more seconds because I'm also hungry as hell, and I gotta charge my phone. And when I eat, I'm falling asleep. Take me a nap. And happy belated Father's Day to all the pappies out here. Happy pappy, happy belated pappy day. Happy pappy. All right. So anyway, that is enough for the comment section. Okay, thank you guys so very much for tuning in to another episode of the Dre Max Show. Our Monday show is coming soon. I will make an announcement. Peyton Reed, that's who directed Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantumania. That's who wrote that. Okay, let me get to this last point. If the director's going to get away with the bad graphics, it could have worked out if they set it up beforehand that the Speed Force destroys the world like that. Yeah, I agree with you like that. And it kind of wasn't explained or wasn't alluded to or anything. It's kind of like the glitch in Across the Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider. We know now that when you're in a different, we know that when you're in a different, you're not in your regular universe, you glitch. That's simple. So that would have been easily explained, but story. Anyway, thank you so very much for tuning into the Dre Max Show. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all kicking it with me. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget, if you're watching this on a replay, put it in the comment section. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care, man. Have a good Monday. Where's my outro at? Where is my outro? If you came to this part of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you want to get a little bit more personal with me, make sure that you follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher.